Okay, so let's go over the assignment that you have done on chapter 13 for Friday. That you have to do by Friday at noon. So the passage Alexander the Great and the Power of Literature, chapter 13. Be sure to have the Latin text in front of you or your translation so that you can check it with me. Okay? Magnus ille Alexander, multos scriptores factorum suorum secum semper habebat. Magnus ille Alexander, literally that great Alexander. Okay? Here the adjective ille, when it is postponed after a name of a person, usually means that famous, okay, the one we are talking about, the one we all know. Okay, so you can even translate it the famous Alexander the Great in that case. But if you want, you can stick to the letter and say that great Alexander, or that famous Alexander the Great. Okay. Semper habebat, okay, used to always have what? Direct object, okay, or whom in this case. Multos scriptores, okay, accusative plural, direct object. Many writers. Genitive, factorum suorum. Now remember that sus refers to the subject. The subject is Alexander the Great, so of his own deeds, okay. Secum. Secum, remember, it's cum se. Se refers to the subject, so with himself. So that famous Alexander the Great used to always have with himself many writers of his own deeds. Okay? Is enim ante tumulum Achillis olim stetit et dixit haec verba. Is, okay, he, in fact, enim. Olim is an adverb meaning once, okay. Stetit, perfect indicative of sto, stare, steti, statum. Stood, ante tumulum Achillis, ante plus accusative, in front of, okay. Tumulus tumuli is tomb, grave, okay, so stood in front of the tomb of Achilles. Et dixit haec verba, and said these words, okay, and pronounced these words as you want, okay. Dixit is the perfect indicative from dico, dicere, dixi, dictum, right? Let's review a little bit the perfect indicative. Remember that the perfect indicates the simple past, either I said or I have said. Okay, you take the perfect stem from the third principal parts. So dico, dicere, dixi, dictum. The third principal part is dixi. You cut the I, or just leave it as first person singular, but you cut the I to get the stem dix, and then you attach the endings of the perfect. I, isti, it, imus, istis, erunt. So say it with me, say it aloud, even if I cannot see you and cannot hear you, but say it with me, okay? Perfect indicative of dico. Dixi, dixisti, dixit, diximus, dixistis, dixerunt. Again, dixi, dixisti, dixit, Diximus, dixistis, dixerunt. Again, more quickly. Dixi, dixisti, dixit, diximus, dixistis, dixerunt. Again, dixit, dixisti, dixit, diximus, dixistis, dixerunt. Very quickly. Dixi, dixisti, dixit, diximus, dixistis, dixerunt. Okay? Since we are here, let's do also the pluperfect indicative of dico. The pluperfect, remember, indicates a past that is faster than the past, okay? Meaning an action that happened before an action that it is already in the past. So, for example, if I say, when you arrived yesterday, arrived is in the perfect, okay? I had already studied, okay? I had studied is in the past, but happened before the past of you arrived. When you arrived, simple past, you had already studied, an action that happened before then, okay? And this is easy to form, because basically you take the perfect stem again, dix, and you attach the imperfect of the verb to be. I mean, the forms that are identical to the imperfect of the verb to be. Okay? So, dixeram, dixeras, dixerat, dixeramus, dixeratis, dixerant. Remember, the imperfect of the verb to be is eram, eras, erat, eramus, eratis, erant. So, pluperfect, dixeram, dixeras, dixerat, dixeramus, dixeratis, dixerant. Say it with me. Dixeram, dixeras, dixerat, dixeramus, dixeratis, dixerant. Again. Dixeram, dixeras, dixerat, dixeramus, dixeratis, dixerant. Again. Dixeram, dixeras, dixerat, dixeramus, dixeratis, dixerant. More quickly. Dixeram, dixeras, dixerat, dixeramus, dixeratis, dixerant. Okay? Let's finish with the future perfect. I will have said, which indicates an action in the future that happens before an action that it is in the simple future. So, when you will arrive, I will have already pronounced these Latin sentences. Okay? The two actions both happen in the future, but the future perfect happens before the simple future. And to create it, just like for the pluperfect you attach the imperfect of the verb to be, for the future perfect you attach the future of the verb to be to the perfect stem. So perfect stem dix, you attach ero, eris, erit, erimus, eritis. Now instead of erunt, you attach erint, otherwise you get confused with the third person plural of the perfect indicative. Okay? So, say it. Dixero, dixeris, dixerit, dixerimus, dixeritis, dixerint. Okay? Dixero, dixeris, dixerit, dixerimus, dixeritis, dixerint. Okay? Again, quickly. Dixero, dixeris, dixerit, dixerimus, dixeritis, dixerint. Okay? So, now you have reviewed basically perfect, pluperfect, and future perfect. In the quiz on Friday, you will have forms to identify and translate. For example, I can say dixeram, and you have to say first person singular, pluperfect, indicative, active, I had said. Okay? Let's proceed with the translation of the passage. Fuisti fortunatus, o adolescens, quod homerum laudatorem virtutis tuae invenisti. Fuisti, it's the second person singular of the perfect of the verb to be, sum esse fui, so fuisti, you have been, okay, or you were, You have been fortunate, O young man, because, quod, then the verb in Wenisti, again, second person singular of the perfect, because you found, accusative, Homer, as praiser of your virtue, of your value, okay? In English you would say you found in Homer the praiser of your value, of your virtue, okay? But you can translate it literally, you found Homer as the praiser of your value, okay? Et vere, and truly and indeed, okay? Vere is an adverb here. Nam, sine Iliade illa, idem tumulus et corpus eius et nomen obruere potuit. For without Iliade illa, here you see the use of illa illa illud after a proper name. Okay, here you have the name of the poem by Homer, okay, the Iliad, indicating that famous, I mean the one that we all know about, okay, so without that Iliad, meaning without that famous Iliad, idem tumulus, okay, the same tomb and his body and his name, okay, so both the tomb and his body and his name could, my mistake, so idem tumulus is the subject, corpus et nomen are two nouns that are neuters, so can be also accusative. And here you have a verb bruere, okay, that wants the accusative, otherwise the sentence doesn't work. So idem tumulus must be the subject, et corpus eius et nomen must be the direct objects, okay? So the same tomb could bury both his body and his name, okay? So again, the whole sentence, for without that famous Iliad, the same tomb could bury both his body and his name, okay? Nihil corpus humanum conservare potest, sed litterae magnae nomen viri magni saepe conservare possunt. So, nihil must be the subject, and again, corpus humanum is the direct object, neuter, okay? Nothing can preserve, or nothing is able to preserve the human body. Sed litterae magnae, remember that litterae in the plural means literature, but great literature can often preserve the name of a great man. Viri magni is the genitive. Okay? I hope this is clear. Okay? Now that you have corrected it, send me an email explaining me what kind of mistakes you made. And based on the mistakes you made, review what you need to review, and review very well chapters 12 and 13 in preparation of the quiz. You have to take the quiz by Saturday at noon, okay? And later I will send you a message with the homework for Monday, okay? The quiz on chapters 12 and 13 will have only an exercise on verbs, as I said before, okay, analysis of verbal forms, and sentences with the material from chapters 12 and 13. Have a good night.